ready for two wild guys throwing out spicy ideals on fantasy football. Welcome back to the Dynasty Football Maniacs. Trust at your own risk.
But yeah, that guy, I even tried it. I didn't, and I tried to send a 109 for just Bryce Young, just for a chance. I could have just bamboozled myself, but I was like, there's a good chance he might do good. I'll just give him the 109, and I punched in. It was a fair deal by what they say and keep trading cut. So I was like, he should like this. And then he went back and added more pieces to it, and I was like, he wanted Jameson Williams. So I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, I'm only in for the quarterback. I ain't trying to trade anything else away. So he was just kind of, needless to say, keep trade cut kind of irritates me sometimes.
Well, the 109 should have been an even trade, even on keep cut trade.
It was. That's what he just got greedy. He thought, and I was like, well, your loss.
Yep, your loss. That's right.
All right.
I might need to hit him up for Bryce Young because I need a quarterback too, I believe. But
if you can somehow work a deal with him that makes it pretty even, God bless you.
God bless me.
If you do, please tell me your secrets because I just couldn't figure it out.
That is funny. Oh my God. Hilarious. Yeah, I think one of my guys is trying to get rid of all his picks. He don't want to draft. I'm like, okay.
Really?
It seems like he's like getting rid of all his draft picks. I mean, I'm like, I don't understand it.
So is he trying to be like a super contender or he's just...
I mean, he asked for Raquan Smith, but I don't know. It's all late round picks he's wanting to give me for him. And I'm like, that was good.
I understand. Right now I'm in your league. Since in that league I am definitely a bona fide rebuild. I'm in negotiations right now. Somebody wants CJ Edwards, and I'm like, well, he's a top tier, guy. So I thought since he didn't have a first rounder for this year, I was like, well, I got plenty of first rounds for this year. I'm gonna try to stack up for next year. So I was like, just throw me your 2026 first rounder for TJ Edwards. I think that's a pretty fair deal.
Yeah.
And we just right now he ain't answered me back yet. I'm waiting in anticipation. So if I make a shocking face in the middle of the show, it's probably because I got news of. If you really see a happy face, then that's probably because the trade actually went through.
Man, I tell you what, fantasy's just around the corner. Football's fixing to really get going. So now tonight we're going to go over the tight end spots and see our top rankings for the tight ends for the season. So I don't think much has changed from the last time we ranked this out, Austin. Looking at it, it's pretty much the same. I mean, and really, I kind of expected that. I mean, not too many changes are in the tight end world.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
The only thing we're going to do is squeeze in the rookies at this point, if there's any rookies that are willing to get up in the top tiers. I don't think this class is as big as a previous class of tight ends, but I do believe we have some good tight ends coming out. So this is going to be pretty exciting. Nothing like Brock Bowers or Sam Laporta. I don't think we're going to see another two of them.
I would be really shocked if we did, honestly.
Right.
But crazy things happen. I mean, crazier things have happened. So who knows?
Yeah, and Sam Laporta fell off a little bit last year because of injuries. This year, I think he'll rebound. Brock Bowers is still going to lead the room.
Well, it also doesn't help Sam Laporta that Jameson Williams started breaking out last year too. So that was just another mouth that Lions offense had to feed.
And I don't think they're going to be feeding that mouth that much this year. So, and that's already came out of the camp. So we're going to see a little bit of dying off with that one.
I am totally opposite. I am flying high with that man.
Well, you fly high with him, and I'm gonna fly high with Sam Laporta.
So, I can fly high with both.
Oh, okay.
Because it's funny because in one of my leagues I actually have both.
Oh, well, then you want to fly high with both.
Yes, I am.
So I see you kind of changed up your list from the last time a little bit, but I think after after our conversation, I think we're going to leave that guy where he's at because I don't think we should drop him one because at the end of the day, he is going to lead their offense, and you probably already know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got a feeling I know who it is.
And that's George Kittle. I mean, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, San Francisco 49ers, the way they're trading things away and the pieces are moving,
I,
he plays a big part of it, and I still think he's going to be in the top scoring.
I won't fight you on that. We can leave him. I can put him up in mine. It just the only reason why I put it there is just due to the fact that I didn't. I just it doesn't matter to me really. We can
All right.
just we can just put them either one.
And then I agree with you on the next three. I mean, I can't argue with you on any. Like, here we go. You guys ready for the next three? For the tier one, Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, and Sam Laporta. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody.
Shocking.
I mean, there's no argument. I was shocked to see how far TJ Hawkinson kind of fell from everybody's grasp because at one time it was like he should have been a tier one, but
The injuries, man.
yeah, the injuries kind of like took it out. But I think I'm happy with the tier one that we have previously and currently. I like Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta, Trey McBride, and George Kittle. All top scorers too. If you
I
look
can
at
agree with that.
so I'm bringing up their scores last year. Brock Bowers led. Second was Trey McBride. Third was George Kittle. And the only reason you don't see Sam Laporta up in there is because he didn't play that many games. But I mean, I'd have to actually probably put a search in for him real quick. Let's do that. Let's see where he finished at. Porto.
He finished at the tight end 8.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh my God, he did.
For only playing so many games. Yeah.
Well, he played 16. I thought he was out for more than that, but guess not.
I mean,
Uh,
it's a fall off from his rookie year, but like I said, with Jameson Williams and kind of emerging this year, it kind of took some of the targets away. But I mean, still finishing in the top 10 as a tight end is still pretty impressive.
I think the most impressive gain as a tight end last year was Geno Smith for Miami.
Yeah, yeah, I really did not see that coming.
Yeah, I don't think he was on anybody's radar. I mean, we had the David Njoku's, we had the Pat Fearmouths, we had the Zach Ertz. We knew wherever Zach went, even though he left the Cardinals, he was going to do well, and he did. He went to Washington and led that whole area until injuries. When that happens, he's going to fall off again, just like what happened at Arizona, and that's why Trey McBride got the job. Um, yeah, that was probably the biggest surprise last year was Geno Smith. He was never under my radar, but now he is. He's like, okay, he's a stinger. All right, so let's
Yeah.
go into tier two. And we look at tier two, we got TJ's Hawkinson, which we both agree on that. Mark Andrews, we both had him up there. We both had Tucker Craft. No, we did not. Hold on. I don't have Tucker Craft there. Okay. Let's see here. We got okay. Now see, I should have looked at the list. I thought I already read this over. So we both got TJ Hawkinson. Both agree on that. Mark Andrews, we agree on. Dave Njoku, we agree on. So here we go with the little. Okay, I'm good with putting Tyler Warren in there. I think he's going to be good his rookie year. It's a tier two. I think he'll come out balling just because he's going to the Colts, right?
And no matter what quarterback starts, they love tight ends. So either way, he's gonna eat.
Yeah, I was just surprised that you threw Tucker Craft up there, and that's the one I'm going to kind of sit on for right now. I'm going to try to figure out
Well,
what made you change your mind at the end of last season, going into this season that Tucker Craft needs to be up there. That's what I want to know.
well, when I went back and looked at all the tight ends from last year, I kind of didn't realize that he finished as the top. He finished as the number 10 tight end in fantasy last year, and he also was targeted 70 times in that offense. 70 times, and he had 7 touchdowns and just a little bit over 700 yards.
Yeah,
That
he had less targets than 11, 12, 13, 15, 14, and 15, but he got more yards and more touchdowns than them guys.
exactly. So
Okay.
that's the reason why I bumped them to tier 2, because when I went back and looked and I saw all that, I was like, man, he actually did a lot better than I was thinking initially.
Yeah, because average per yards, that's crazy. That's like 14.1 yards per
Exact
carry.
exactly.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's the reason why I had to bump him up to tier 2.
But I couldn't really argue that. I mean, if he does the same performance as he did last year for Green Bay, which we figure he will, Jordan Love focused on him. He's going to focus on him again this year. He was the leading tight end of the group, and when he gets the ball, he showed that he's going to do something with it. He ain't going to just hold it. So I would
Yeah.
definitely, I'm fine with that. Okay, I can see your reasoning behind that. I just had to get the understanding of why you wanted to throw him up there, and after that, kind of like looking at it that way, that makes sense. That makes every bit of sense. Originally, we had him as a tier 3, so moving up to tier 2 right before the start of the season makes total sense. It doesn't make like really honestly either or, but
Right.
I could see him doing that. And then so that's tier 2. We got T.J. Hawkinson, Dalton Kincaid, Mark Andrews, David Njoku, Tyler Warren, which I think he's going to probably be the best rookie starting off just because of place of draft. Tucker Craft. Uh, Going into tier 3, I don't think we're going to disagree on too much on that. So let's do this little comparison here. We both, okay. Okay, let's slow down then, Mr. Crabtree. Um, so we both have Evan Green. Hold on, let me do this here. View, side by side. You know, a tile. Okay, so we both agree on Evan McIgram.
Mhm.
So we got him. Travis Kelsey, definitely.
Mhm.
Clement, did not have him in my group. Hold on. Or no, I had him in my group. You did not. Dallas Gottert, we agree on him. Uh, Jake Ferguson, we both agree on Jake Ferguson as a tier 3. And Kyle Pitts. So the newcomers. Let's talk about the newcomers. So the list is a little different, but not too different. I'm good with Colston Loveland joining the group. I believe he's going to also be a very good back. So I'm going to drop him in here. So we agree on Colston Loveland. So now you got Dalton Kincaid, which really honestly, where do I have Dalton Kincaid at? Did I like not have him on my list?
I'm not sure.
Interesting. Like I forgot to even rank him. That was disrespectful. So okay, I'm gonna not even have an argument with you. I'm gonna put him there. So I'm gonna add Dalton Kincaid to tier 3 on my list. So the only one that I have that you don't have is I put Geno Smith up to tier 3 because I just think he's gonna have the same repeat season. I think it's that time.
Hey, did you say Geno Smith?
Yes,
Okay. He's a Geno Smith. Oh, you talking about John
Jono
Smith.
Smith. Yeah,
Oh,
Jono.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry I pronounced his name wrong. Jono Smith.
Got you now. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
The Miami guy that finished 4th in tight ends last year.
Right. I I see why you want to throw him in there, but the only reason why I haven't thrown him up in there is because I just don't know if he can repeat.
I see tight ends usually once they hit that threshold, they continue. They don't usually fall off. They're not like the wide receivers and stuff like that. It usually takes them a couple years to get there. We just got a privilege the last 2 years to get tight ends that come straight out of college. I really honestly don't think Tyler Warren, even though I want to believe they're going to do good, but I can't really put them with the Sam Laporta in the Dalton Kincaid in Brock Bowers because honestly, 10 years ago, for the last 10 years prior to them guys, you never seen that. So it's like it's kind of hard to see that happening.
So let me ask you this then. Do you and this is if it happens because there's been rumors. So if he gets traded to the Steelers, do you still have him in tier three?
Ooh,
Because there have been talks, and it's even in the news right here on Sleeper that the Dolphins have had trade discussions with Pittsburgh's Steelers about Jonnu Smith. And this was a day ago when they posted this. So like,
so
do
who would
you
you? So
do you still have him going to tier three if he goes to the Steelers?
mm, no, if he's going to the Steelers, probably not because he's going to have
But
Pat.
but if he stays with the Dolphins, you would.
Oh yeah, definitely because he's going
Okay.
to be main tight end.
Right. That's the only thing. That's another reason why I kind of was hesitant
But
on putting him up
honestly,
there. But so,
he's younger than Pat Fearmouth, so he could end up be replacing him.
no, Pat Fryermuth is younger.
You sure?
Johnny Smith is 29. Pat Fryermuth is 26.
Uh,
And, and Pat Fryermuth finished as the number 9 tight end of last year. So he's still younger than Johnu. So that was my only concern because I know it's a rumor, but you know s- you
so
can
they
either
both.
take it either way. So
The only difference is one got more targets than the other, but they averaged the same amount of yards per carry. Um, one had more touchdowns. Pat had more touchdowns than Gino. Or no, did they? There's no. Gino had Smith had 7, 8.
Juno was just hyper targeted, which
Well,
you
no,
know.
no. I'm saying if you look at it, yards per carry per the targets are equal. So he had 111 targets, yes, and Pat had 78, but they both averaged 10 yards a carry.
So hmm.
He had a lot more yards than Pat. Every time he touched the ball, he still carried it 10 yards. The math is right in front of me. Huh. That
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm looking at it too, but if he got traded, I would see Johnu being the backup to Pat.
really.
Hmm.
Wow. All right, how about this? I'm fine. I'll drop him down to 4 with
I was
Pat.
gonna let you keep him at 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna let you keep him at 3 just due to the fact that there's a chance that he could be back with the Dolphins.
Okay. I'm good with that. So the next one we got tier. Well, okay. So let's name off tier 3 before we move on to tier 4. Uh, Jono Smith, Evan Ingram, Travis Kelsey, Komet, Dallas Gottert, Jake Ferguson, Kyle Pitts, Colston Loveland, and Dalton Kincaid. So just in the top 3, that gives us a total of 19 tight ends, which is pretty impressive because tight ends are not your big scorers, and very few of them hit over 200. I think last year only 4 of them hit over 200 points total for the whole year. That was your top 4. That was Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, George Kittle, and Jono Smith. Travis Kelsey almost did it, but he had 195.4. So um, that's your normal take. I mean, tight ends are slim picking in fantasy, guys. That's why we play them in one spot, and you don't see a whole lot of them playing in flex unless you're just a fortunate fella that gets 2 top 10 tight ends in your little picking, and you can occasionally play one of them in your flex.
Either that or most of your team is and on IR, and you have no choice but to play another tight end.
Yeah, because after you hit top 20, you're almost dropping out of 100 points for the whole season. I mean, well, actually, it's probably a little bit lower than that. It's like the top 30 is where it ends off. And Dalton Kincaid, yes, he ranked 30 last year with 100 points,
But he
but
was
he
also
only played 13 games. So keep that in
mm,
mind, guys. 13 games. And the times he did play, he averaged more yards than the other 2 tight ends we talked about.
and he was
He averaged 10.
Yeah, exactly. He was targeted like 75 or 78 times too in those
75.
games. So exactly.
So if he had a healthy season, I believe he would have done another 200 season like he did last year. I think he would have had 5 tight ends up there. And I always say there's top 5, top 10. That's who you need to be trying to focus on. There's 12 teams in fantasy. It's hard to get one of them guys, but you want to get them. So, and I think in our tier 3, these are the guys you should be going after. I mean, everybody else below is backups and fillers. And yeah, they'll get you points, but they're not. They're just tight end positions. They're not flexers. I mean, I think you kind of agree with me on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So going in with that tier 4, we got Pat Firmer. We both agree on him. We both agree on Cade Oten. I think he's doing really good. Isaiah Likely. We both agree on that. I do agree. I'm putting in the rookie Elijah, or I believe that's how you say his last name.
I believe so.
And then, oh wow, I didn't see you'd put the other guy in there. Harold Fanning Jr. You're also thinking he's going to do a little rich for my blood, but I'm good with it for the rookies because he's unknown and he was ranked high. And yeah,
Well, he was drafted pretty high too. So
yeah,
on day 2 draft pick. So that usually day 2 players, along with first round, second round, third round players, I really pay attention to, especially in fantasy. So that's why I kind of put him in there because it's somebody to watch out for.
and we both agree on Cole Komet. So there's really not too many disagreements when we get to this level. So that's adding a lot more to what we had on our list. So tier 5, going to tier 5, we both agree on Hunter Henry. We both agree on Jatavian Sanders. We got Jatavian Sanders in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Theo Johnson. I do not have him on my list. He's in tier 5. Oh no, he's in tier 5 for me. Okay, so we do agree on Theo Johnson. I don't know why I was reading level low. And then let's see here. So I put Ben Sennett in there, but I guess I'm hoping he'd come out having a better year this year.
Right.
But you got him in tier 6. And I'm fine with putting him in tier 6. We can do some moving around here. I'm going to put him in tier 6. I'm not going to leave him up there. All right. And Mike Gitz. Oh, God, I can't even say his name.
Kaziki.
Yeah, Kaziki. I have him in tier 5. You have him in tier 5. So let's do this here. The only one that I have in tier 5 that you don't is Dalton Schultz. So why don't you think he's still a tier 5 guy?
I have Dalton Schultz in tier 5.
Oh, you do have him in tier 5. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm blind. Let me get over that. Did not see him till now. So okay, we're in agreement. Other than the one I just swapped out, and I kind of like conceded quickly with that because really I didn't have an argument why I should keep him there. So just because of preference, really, is the only reason I wanted to keep him there, and I don't know if that's good enough to argue about,
Yeah.
So I'm good with dropping him down. Yeah, I'm gonna have to straighten that out in a minute. So let's see here. We're all agreement of that. So I'm gonna name this off: Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, Dalton Schultz, Theo Johnson, Mike Ginsky, Jatavian Sanders. Yeah, that's our tier 5. And then going in tier 6, we both agree on Chig Kawa. We both believe on Ben Sennett now because we both had him there.
Hmm.
The only reason we dropped Zach Ertz down to 5 and I think or 6 You have them. I had that's okay. That's what I'm confused. I'm mixing my 6 with your 5. So
Ah,
I have Zach Ertz in 5.
right.
You have him in 6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why we can't leave him in 5. I mean, he ain't out of the way yet.
I, I mean, that's fine. The only reason why I got him at 6 because I think eventually he will be out of the way. So just like in Arizona, so that's the reason why I got him along with Ben Simmons in the same tier, like really just right behind each other.
Yeah, but I think I'll be more higher on Zach Ertz than Ben Simmons. But okay, so we're good with that then. All right, so going into tier 6, now my eyes are straight. Uh, we got. Ooh, you have Britton Strange. Okay, I do too. Terrence Ferguson, I got him. Noah Fant, have him. You got let's see. Okay, so let's do this here. You got Noah Gray down in tier 7, which makes sense because he's a backup at Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't really see him pulling out anything right now. You also got Juan Johnson in tier 7.
I do.
And I had Will Disley in tier 6. Where do you have him at? Oh,
Tier
you have
7.
tier 7 too. Okay.
Right.
All right. So let's do this here. All right. So let's fix this here. I'm fine with that because this is tier 7. It ain't like we're going to have too many arguments about it.
Right.
So let's do this here. We're going to put Will Disley down here. Why do you think he needs to go all the way to 7?
Well, I believe. I mean, did the Chargers draft a rookie that you know of?
No.
I'm gonna double check real quick. But I also got him because I mean he hasn't really done much. Oh, they did draft a rookie, but they got him. They got Orn D. Gadsden, but they
Yeah.
got him as a like behind. But they also signed Tyler Conklin too. I mean, I'm not a Wiz Beasley guy, so that's really the main reason why I got him at tier 7. But I'm fine with moving him up at tier 6 if you really think he needs to be at tier 6.
No, I was just kind of curious why you had him in tier 7. I'm fine with putting him in tier 7 too. The only one on your tier 7 I don't think should be listed anymore is Taysom Hill. Because after the last reading of him covering from his ACL thing, there's a good chance he'll get cut at the first of the year.
Nah, he's a Saints legend. He's gonna be there
No,
forever.
no, we've seen this time and time again, Saint Legend or not. If you're not playing, the $18 million is more for their cap, and they're needing to get some pieces filled. I'm telling you right now, with the salary cap and the money they owe him, with cutting him would save them money. They will cut him because he ain't going to play right off the bat this year. So I mean, why would we even rank him? I mean, he's going to be a filler. If you grab him, he might score, he might play, but I don't think he's going to play.
I I think he's gonna play and he's gonna do all his crazy stuff like he normally does.
With the torn ACL at 35 years old,
Yeah.
you don't. Well, it's tier 7, so I'll let you have it. I would not draft him.
Well, I mean, tier 7 is just for people that you need a stash.
All right, so tier 7. With that being said, we'll just leave tier 7 as it is because we're pretty much agreement now in tier 6. So tier 7, I'm gonna add some names that he didn't have, and he's gonna add names I didn't have. So here we go. We moved Juan Johnson to tier 6, but we got Michael Meyer, which you have Michael Mayer. I got
Mhm.
Tyler. No, I have Tyler Conklin. You do not. I have Dawson Knox. You do not. I do have Luke Musgrave. You have him. I have Greg Dulwich. You do not. I have Tyler Higbee. You do. I have that was earlier this season. I'm gonna not even mention his name. I'm gonna move Noah Gray over his name real quick. We're not gonna mention this next guy's name because I know his injuries kind of keeping him out too. So, and you got Will Disley in 7, which we moved Will Disley down to 7, and then I added Tyson Hill back to 7. All right, that's good enough. I mean, that ain't too big of a deal. I mean, that's going to give us a list of 45 tight ends, which I'm sure no one's going to have that many tight ends on their roster. This will give you a pretty good spread of going out who you need to pick. I mean, my biggest focus, I would look at repeatability. I would try to get someone in the top 3 tiers as your main tight end, and then try to find someone as a backup. Like I said, most tight ends every season, there's only about a few of them that'll score over 200 points or close to 300, and none of them ever hit that 300 mark. Hardly ever. Not saying it's never happened because that would probably be lying. I'd have to look up the statistics to find that out. But most of the time, you'd be happy to get 200 points out of them during a fantasy season. And like I said, a lot of these guys you wouldn't be playing in flex except for your George Kittle, your Travis Kelsey. Them guys you could put in your flex spot and be fine playing in a flex and then picking up another tight end to fill in the tight end spot. Because, I mean, scoring over 200 is about as equivalent as a decent wide receiver, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but tight ends are basically going to be the position that's either going to build points to your total or it's going to kind of hurt you in either way. So,
I've seen tight ends lose people's championships. I played a guy in a championship one time, and because he had 2 tight ends that was injured, he had to pick a tight end off the waiver wire, and the guy he got off the waiver wire put up like 2 points. So it's like because I had a tight end that scored 10 points, it helped me out tremendously because it was a close game. So I ended up winning because of that. And he kind of like had a fit about it. So
I mean, I would too.
well, that's what happens. I mean, injuries can cost you championships. I mean, anything can happen.
I mean,
Now,
yeah.
I'll be interested. I think with this whole discussion, we're going to have a little follow back up on Tyson Hill. I used to be a big Tyson Hill fan, but I usually have him on my team, and I actually had to drop him in a few fantasy leagues because I knew the writing on the wall. And you're not going to get no trades for him. I'm not going to be able to pull no special picks out of the wall for that guy. So I had to go ahead and accept my losses and drop them because I have to make room for the new guys. I mean, that's what you do in Dynasty. You got to clear your bench of the guys. Like I dropped Zeke Elliott in 2 leagues. That's how loving of a fan I am. I kept guys until their final days, like Zeke Elliott, Tyson
Mm,
Hill. I had them in their heydays too. So it's like, it just shows you how much love I had for them players. Maybe
right.
Zeke Elliott more than anybody. I had posters of him. That's a little weird, but we won't talk about that on this show.
Mm,
But so our top 5 tight end rookies is I don't think we have any disagreement. I'm good with your list. Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Elijah Aurora, Tyrus Ferguson, and Harold Fanning Jr., the top 5 coming out this year for tight ends. I'm good with all that. I really, I mean, I'm a bigger Colston Loveland fan than a Tyler Warren, but
mhm.
I think it's more draft position because originally my rankings did have Colston Loveland above Tyler Warren, but I believe at the end of the day, I think due to draft position, Tyler Warren will probably have more success than Colston Loveland.
Well, also, in my opinion, Tyler Warren will have more success too because Colston Loveland is going to have to battle a lot of people that are wanting targets. You know, he's going to have to battle DJ Moore. He's going to have to battle Roman Doomsday. He's going to have to battle Luther Burden. and
Comet.
he's still going to have to battle Comet too. And not to mention, they got a receiving back in DeAndre Swift who likes to catch passes as well. So there's just too many mouths to feed, in my opinion. I don't know if Caleb Williams can, distribute the ball to every single body. So that's the only reason why I have Tyler Warren above him.
Well, that's a good accept. I mean, that's why I'm more Tyler Warren now than Colston Loveland. I mean, we still know he's a good tight end, but at the end of the day, we're talking fantasy points, fantasy teams. That's your better bet. So out of the top rookies, I would lean more to Tyler Warren than any of them. Just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you guys like the content, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. And what do you always say, Austin?
Make sure you share because sharing is caring.
That's right. Sharing is caring.